Hey everybody, Wolf here again. So we had some snow. Last week we had the temperature touching into the 70s, so it actually just touched 70. And now we got almost a foot of snow on the ground. So we got some a little bit of a setback with Jack, Wolf Van Jack, my 2006 Ford Econoline van here. I had to use it to transport the snowblower up to my uncle's house because I had to help clean out up there. So it's kind of a mess in there now. So as you can see, I used the ramp from my trailer setup to get the snowblower on and off. And of course the snowblower was wet when I put it in here. So, well, it was at least covered with snow. All that snow has melted now and it's created a kind of puddles and mud and other stuff in here. So we have to get that cleaned out. Put the ramp away, get all this mud picked up and cleaned up here, and did scratch the floor that I had put down in a few places too, so I'll probably touch that up a bit too. So we got some work ahead of us. Oh, this is wet. Wet. Okay, so part of today's project is going to start removing the rear heating and air conditioning unit. Now, I can't disconnect the air conditioning lines yet because I don't have the tools to do that. I have them on order and we'll have them here later this week, but we can start disconnecting the heating system. If there's no coolant in it anymore anyway, might as well start disconnecting it. So I've gone about as far as I can with the heating and air conditioning unit till I get the tools to disconnect these things down here. These are the air conditioning lines. I've got the tools on order. They should be here later this week, so later on in this video we should have them. But I've disconnected the hoses for the heat, the coolant lines, not the refrigerant lines. These are refrigerant, that's coolant. So I've disconnected the coolant lines, disconnected the wiring harness. And all that stuff's disconnected. It's just two screws I need to remove when it comes time for that one there and that one there. Once I got these disconnected down here, this whole thing should just pop out. So now I'm going to start designing the flooring system. So I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently than other van designs out there. I got some specific goals in mind here for the van. First, I don't want any overlap. That's a big objective there. I want to be able to either remove wall panels or floor panels without having to remove the other one. So I don't want the walls, save the walls to be over the floor, so if I needed to do some maintenance on the floor, I'd have to remove the walls first to get the floor up. I don't want that. So I'm going to do a track of 2x2s all around the perimeter edge of the entire van. And that's going to be the overlap point. Both the floor and the walls will overlap that. And I should be able to get that out from either direction too if I have to. But hopefully I won't have to. But I want everything accessible. That's one of my biggest goals here for this van setup here. Modular and accessible. So a few days have passed, but we're going to continue on with the project of removing the rear heat and AC unit. So I got the tools I needed to disconnect those lines. They don't look like much. But this is what I need. So I guess these things will clamp onto the refrigerant lines and release the spring on there. I also picked up, so I'm going to do this here with one hand. Picked up these caps. This will go inside the lines there, point under the van near the engine. And this will cap off the lines once I remove the air conditioning unit. Let's see if we can figure this out here. Okay, so I'll show you how this tool works because I accidentally already disconnected it and didn't mean to. It just goes on there, you slide it in under the spring and then it pops it off. That's what I did, and you can see it's disconnected, nothing's blowing out, so there's definitely no refrigerant in those lines. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we've got a couple of things going on with the van here. So first of all, I ran into a snag when I was trying to remove the rear air conditioning unit like I wanted to do. Turns out there is definitely still some refrigerant in the system. And it also looks like the area I need to reach to put those caps on to cap off the air conditioning lines to the back, not going to be so easy to reach. So I opted to talk to my mechanic, and I'm going to have them take care of those two little issues. So they're going to drain the rest of the refrigerant out, and they're going to put the caps on for me. I'll probably take care of the rest of removing the unit, but it has to wait until I get that done. In the meantime, I did stop over at Home Depot and picked up some, okay wood. Expensive, but okay wood. You don't get very good stuff at Home Depot, unfortunately, but it'll work. The wood strapping's going to go in between the ribs here, and I'll put insulation between that, and that will hold the plywood up. The 2x2s are going to go around the perimeter edge of the van. I also picked up a can of Kills mold and mildew resistant paint, so I'm going to paint all the wood before I finish the job here with that, in case, well, I know at some point it's going to get wet. That's pretty much a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of trying to keep the mold at bay. Today's project, however, we're going to work on this piece of plastic that's still attached to the side of the van here. It's still in the way here, so I want to cut this piece off. I'm actually going to try to cut it along here and break that off of there. Then you can build the wall and things like that up there. I'm actually going to leave this piece. My plan is to have, when I put up the walls behind the seats here, when I have those walls up behind the seats, I want to put like a peek hole that I can see through here, and I'll probably put the wall over to here instead. It'll allow me to see when I'm turning those sharp left corners. So that's part of the plan. It'll make more sense when I actually get into building it and I can actually show what I'm doing. Okay, this is the finished cut. Not very clean looking, I know. I file that down a little bit to make it look a little bit better, because I just pulled the plastic off too. Doesn't need to look all that good though, because this is all going to be hidden behind the wall anyway. I just needed to get that big piece that was over here out of the way, and now it's gone. Clean up the floor a bit, and I can start building the frame here. Margin. This measurement stuff doesn't work so well for me. Let's see where I screwed up. So here it is. Old stand jack now has a floor. You can see I got the heating and air conditioning unit all removed. I ended up having to go to my shop to help me out with that one though, my mechanic, because I wasn't able to get those caps onto the line, and there was still some air conditioning on it, air conditioning refrigerant in the lines. But there you go, we got a floor here. So no, I'm not the best at cutting and shaping and things like that. There's lots of gaps here, but once the cabinets are put in here, they'll be over those gaps and you won't see them. But this is it. This is the status now. We have a floor. Time to start putting the camping gear back in and time to start taking trips. Alright, so this is where we're going to leave you off for today. So then this video actually covers a span of several weeks because there's been a lot of projects going on, things like that. But from bringing up leaving the van off, I lost a whole week at the mechanics there to get the heat and AC unit disconnected properly. Took them some time to figure that one out, but I finally got that back and finally got the floor in. Like I said, in the next video we'll be putting all the gear back in here, and about a little over a week here we're heading back up to Lincoln, New Hampshire for another stay at Hancock Campground. So we'll see you soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, slow down and enjoy life. We'll talk to you guys later.